Okay, welcome you back. Today we're gonna learn how to carve the maxillary first premolar. Our premolars, by their name itself, say that they are present before the molars. Okay, so these two are very important for us, and let us go deep into how we will carve them on our wax blocks. So, the first thing, as usual, is the dimensions. So, the length of our crown is 8 mm here. The length of our root is 14 mm. The mesiodistal width of the crown is 7 mm, and the buccolingual width of the crown is 9 mm. Very important to note is this is 7 mm and this is 9 mm. So the buccolingual width, the length of the buccolingual region, it's more than that of the mesiodistal. Very crucial, and this needs to be obvious whenever people looks at a premolar. Buccolingual is more than the mesiodistal. 7 mm here, 9 mm here. Very important. So we just got to know the most important numbers here being 8, 14, 7 and 9 mm. Okay, let's dive straight in to our carving. I'll just keep this aside. I'll start with labeling my block. Okay, let me take this as my buccal side. So this would obviously be my palatal side. So this would be my distal side, and this would be my mesial side. So starting with the carving, let me just note the length of my crown and my root presently. So the length of my crown is 8 mm, and then the length of the root is 14 mm. I'll do the same on my buccal side. Cool. So after having done this, I will do the mesiodistal length of my crown. The markings length must be 7 mm. So here I go. This is something which is very important while carving. The buccolingual width should be more than that of the mesiodistal. So 7 should be 7, 9 should be 9. But I suggest you that while doing the buccal side, keep it 10 initially. So I'm cutting the mesiodistal width now. The shape of this teeth is also trapezoidal. The lingual side is not actually triangular. It's kind of, flat. This is the buccolingual marking, which is 9 mm. I'm taking 10 because just so I'm on the safer side while carving. I'm taking 10 mm presently, but later I'll decrease it. So taken the mesiodistal and the buccolingual markings. Now I'm ready for carving. So the first thing which you will have to do while carving this tooth is you need to take the front part of your teeth, the buccal side, and then for the box here you'll have to divide it into 3 parts and draw a line in the center. Let's say this is your mesial line and this is your distal part, the mesial and the distal regions. We need to understand that the mesial slope is shorter than that of the distal slope. So let us draw the line near the mesial aspect. So this line is near the mesial aspect and not in the center. This makes the distal slope longer than the mesial slope. That's how it works. So after having done this, we'll have to chop out this region, this whole region, the triangular regions. We got to chop the thing out. So when you chop this thing out, you'll get a nice slope on both the sides, both the buccal and the palatal side. So let's do that presently. I'll keep this aside. I'm going to take my block and 3 lines, 3 equidistant lines. Here are my 3 lines. I'm drawing a line which is near the mesial aspect. So this is my mesial aspect. This is my mesial aspect. I'm drawing a line, a center line which is near my mesial aspect. And here I go. I'm going to draw 2 slopes. The longest slope and a small slope here. So now I'm going to take my blade and just chop this part out. After doing this, what we need to do is, we have this central line, isn't it? We have this central line. Now we need to make this central line the buccal ridge. How do you make the buccal ridge? You make the buccal ridge by decreasing this side of the wax and this side of the wax. And how do you do that? You take your Lacron's carver and carve your teeth like this. So you make a kind of a ridge out of this line. So I carve this aspect as well, ensuring that only this central line remains and the other part which is next to it goes down. So that's very gently done here. You can see the line is still visible. We want that to be the central ridge. Cool. So I've just made a ridge now. I'm going to do the same kind of the ridge on my palatal aspect as well. This would be the palatal ridge here. And this would be the line which I need to ensure that it stays while I do the carving. Okay. So here it goes. So when we look at the premolar, there is a very nice curve at the tip of the tooth. So it's these curves which I'm speaking about. So how do you carve these curves? To carve these curves, let me show it to you on my block. I keep this aside. What you need to do is, you'll have to take your carver and do a horizontal movement at the apex of your buccal and lingual cusps. So what I just did now, you can see in the camera, is that I gave a nice bend in this side. So I'm going to emphasize this by making it a bit more proper. Okay, so I do the same thing also on the palatal aspect. Now we are done with the ridges the ridges of both the buccal and the palatal sides. Now I'm going to give a nice lingual convergence for this tooth. This teeth has a very good lingual convergence. This is our lingual convergence. There is a convergence from the buccal aspect. When it comes to the lingual aspect, there is a nice convergence. So we're going to make it in a very tiny way, so that this being our palatal side, we will remove a very small part of it near the palatal side. I'm gonna remove this colored part of my wax with my carver now. Observe keenly. So it's now time to do the most important aspect of our teeth, which is the occlusal aspect. So this is the first teeth which has an occlusal aspect with grooves and all these things. This is the first teeth which has the occlusal table. So how we do this is we have what is called triangular fossas on both the sides. We have triangular fossas on both the sides. We also have, you know, we also have a nice fissure in the middle here. We have a nice groove, and we have two cusps on the buccal and the lingual side. So I will first draw the I'll first carve out the fissure by making two cusps. So this would be my buccal cusp and this would be my lingual cusp. So to carve a cusp, what you will have to do is you'll have to take your carver, and push it into this line here. You'll have to take your carver and push it from this region into into the line, only till the line. Okay. So I take my carver and push it in till the line. I do the same thing here as well. I do the same thing on the palatal side as well. I take it from the tip and push it to the center. Now you're actually building a marginal ridge, a fissure, and a triangular fossa. So if I do it once more, you might get it properly. So I push it from up till the line. I push it from up till the line. So I presently have created the occlusal table. So if you zoom in and look at this, there is a very nice fissure here. There's a nice fissure. You can see a straight line in the center. And I'm referring to this line here. This is called the fissure, this line. And then there is a ridge, a cuspal ridge here. These are the cuspal ridges, which I have marked. These are the cuspal ridges, and this was my fissure. This line was my fissure, central, and then this would be my marginal groove, marginal ridge, and this is another marginal ridge. And these holes, the fossas here, these are the triangular fossas. Okay. So coming back, we have done the occlusal part of our premolar. Now I'm going to do the convergence, and this teeth again has a very good convergence. So at the buccal side, the length of the mesiodistal aspect at the cervical region is 5 mm. The mesiodistal length at the buccal part is 5 mm. So I'm going to measure 5 mm here. And then let me give it a nice cut till this place. So I might give a cut by removing this part and this part of my teeth. So I'll give a cut into this like this. Okay, so we kind of have our occlusal part and the cervical and the convergence kind of in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give what is very important in our dental anatomy of this premolar is that the buccal cusp needs to be larger than the lingual cusp. So if you look at this, the buccal cusp is smaller as compared to the length of the lingual cusp. So I'll decrease the length of my lingual cusp so that I counter the length of my buccal cusp. So I'm again building a nice ridge and remaking it. Okay then. We just made the lingual cusp smaller than that of the buccal cusp. Now, the next most important step which we need to do is we need to build what is called the mesial marginal ridge. So this is my mesial aspect. This is my mesial aspect. So I have a slope. I have a mesial marginal groove on this side. So I'm gonna carve this mesial marginal groove now. So the groove is a line which comes from the mesial side. It's called the mesial marginal groove. This groove here. And there isn't actually a groove like this on the distal side, but let me just give it a nice shape. I'll now carve the root, and the root, if you see in my iPad, the root has a furcation, which is there are two roots which are coming out. One is like this and another is like this, and this bifurcation is what is called a furcation. This thing. So it's very important that we learn how to do this. How you do this is, firstly note that this teeth also has a distal bend. So on the buccal side, let us first give it a nice distal bend after having cut the root portion. Now the root's dimension is just 14 mm. So I'll just cut out 14 mm from this block. I'm trying to build the distal bend here. So what I'll now do is I'll build the furcation. For the furcation, what you'll have to do is you'll first have to observe that the furcation makes the teeth like this. So you will have a space here making two roots. So for making furcations like these, what you'll first have to do is you got to take your carver and give a nice push here and a nice push here in a very gentle manner. It's like drawing a line with the pen. Though I'm showing it with a pen, you should do this with the carver. You need to give a line here, a shallow line, and then slowly deepen it. So let me give a shallow line with my carver here, and then give another line here as well, gently. This is a very delicate part of the teeth, very delicate. And then, very crucial, zoom in and look at it. You gotta see that you take your carver, a very gentle tap here, a very gentle push here. So what you'll have to do now we've built a space, we've built a small furrow in between this. There's a small cleft in between the two roots. So what we'll now do is you'll gotta take your Lecron's carver and keep it like this in a slant manner and push it inside. Take your Lecron's carver slant manner and push it inside. Now you gotta observe that our teeth, both the root, are tilted towards each other. Both the root have a tilt towards each other. So we're gonna do the same with our teeth as well now. So for doing the tilt, I'll just cut some aspects of this and this region. The developmental depression is again like a line. The developmental depression is so this line with some depth plus some continuation even on the crown is what we call as the mesial developmental depression. So we're gonna do this here. The mesial side, let me choose the mesial side. This is my mesial side. Let me draw a nice developmental depression here. I draw a line even a bit which extends even into the crown, and then I give some depth to it by pushing the wax near it aside. Now take your gauze, open your gauze and make it like a small thread. Okay? Now take your furcation and clean it inside. This is how you actually smoothen the inner parts of your furcation. Very crucial. And do it gently so that you don't break your furcation. Okay. I'll now build the roots of my teeth. I mean the CJ of my teeth. So to build the CJ again, this has a flattish CJ. So I'll give it a rough outline. Okay then, so we've completed the maxillary premolar. This is the last step for us to do, which is just shine it with our shining cloth, with our polished cloth, just polishing it neatly. So polish all the parts gently.